let's start the introduction to Flash. As you can see, it's a software from Adobe Creative Suite. The colors of the softwares you can see on the welcome screen, more of red color. Okay? If you can see in the top left corner, there also, this is how the Flash logo looks. Okay, with the FL written within the logo. How does a Photoshop icon looks? Yes, and Photoshop normally carries the blue color scheme. Okay, Flash normally carry on the files. When you save it in your folder locations, it will carry the red color scheme. Okay, when you go to Dreamweaver, it will be green. So we'll come to that. The moment you open Flash, the version for this lessons and throughout your course will be using a CS4, Creative Suite 4. Okay, you'll be doing ACA exams in the same software version. So the first chapter is about knowing the interface, the panels, and the tools is important in terms of identifying Flash elements for your Flash ACA examination. Here you go. So once you open this software, this is what the welcome screen you see. On the left hand side, you have most recently opened documents which you're working on. In the mid column, you will see the new files which you can create. And on the third column on the right hand side, you see the templates. Normally, in the create new sections, we generally use these first two icons, which says Flash ActionScript 3.0 or ActionScript 2.0 version. Now, as long as you will be creating animations without any programming elements within your Flash documents, then it really doesn't matter which ActionScript version for the Flash you open with. Okay, for animation, they both are Flash files. Only they will make a difference on what kind of programming version of Flash you are going to use. Now, detailed use of these action scripts we'll be discussing in lesson 6 or 7. I will give you a short preview on how action scripts work in Flash. Okay. But as we're progressing from Flash CS4, 5, 6, some of the tools and some of the ready-made animation effects which are there within Flash, they normally work better with ActionScript 3.0 version. Okay, ActionScript 2.0 was a Flash first ActionScript version when the Flash was launched. So slowly it is getting deprecated. People are not using the coding of ActionScript 2.0. Everyone's using 3.0. Okay. So I'm gonna open all my files. Even if I'm not doing any ActionScript, I will still give preference of opening a new Flash file using ActionScript 3.0. So I would refer you also use AS 3.0 version. In job ads and so on, you might see they mention the knowledge of AS 3.0 or AS 2.0. So that AS is actually action script. So the knowledge of action script version 2 or version 3 is desirable. Okay. So normally we will see action script 3. The other documents you can use for Flash, as you can see, for creating rich AIR documents or to create mobile applications using Flash. For this course, we are only restricting it to design animations. Okay, we're not going to do any mobile compatible files, so I'm not going to touch base that for a while. But you can do some research on it. There are lots of websites. I will give you the names, and you can find tutorial on that. Right. So whenever we want to open a new document, unless you open any document, you will see the rest of the interface of the Flash is grayed out. You can't see any panel active because we haven't got any Flash document open. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. Let's go and open a new blank Flash file using Flash AS 3.0. The moment you click on it, this is how the Flash interface looks. You will see got a scroll bar to scroll up and down your stage. The white canvas in between you see is Flash stage. Okay. In Photoshop, when you open a new document, it generally asks you your new document's width and height. Flash gives you by default sizes, which you have to change later on. Okay. So whenever I see the blank stage right now, on the right hand side of your interface, you will see the panel for properties and the libraries. So normally the properties panel will show you all the properties of the contents on your stage. Right now, do you see any contents on the stage? No, it's a blank stage. That's why when you see the blank stage, or even if you click on stage anywhere, Flash will show you the properties of your a document. So you can see on screen right now there's no object, so Flash shows the properties of the document itself, means your stage. Okay, now here it shows your Flash version, it shows what Flash player we have embedded already, it shows here the size of your document, which is 550 by 400 pixels. This is what this particular square is. Now in exam or in instructions, if you create an advertising banner of 100 by 600 or 300 by 300, what they mean is actually changing the stage dimensions to whatever they will give you. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Now when you want to change your stage dimensions, or you can see there's a stage color here, which is just labeled as stage with a little white rectangle. That is normally used to change the color, background color of your stage. The other option which you will see in the same document properties is called FPS. Now FPS means frames per second. Okay, that's what this F, P, and S comes from. Okay. Now before briefly lunch break, I was explaining and discussing with you what animations is and all about. The crucial factor for animation is about time. If you can control the time, automatically the software will help you to create beautiful effects and animations. So in Flash, when you want to control the time of your animation, we normally control that using the FPS setting. It's in the values, as you can see right now on my stage, it says 20 FPS. It means Flash will show 20 frame worth animation in 1 second. Okay. But how it actually works and how in a different, when we change the values, how it affects the animation, we will see in lesson 2 and 3. So we don't have to rush on learning FPS right now. So let's just basically understand right now, this is the stage, this is the properties panel, and we have mostly stage related properties right now because there's no object. The other interesting panel you will see in the interface is at the bottom, which is labeled as the timeline. Now this is the most important panel. Remember I told you that I have basics of Flash from Flash 4, 12 years back. This is the same foundation. In that oldest version of Flash also, they used to have a stage, they used to have stage size, and they used to have these timelines. As long as you have these three things, no matter you have advanced Flash features or not, it will still work as perfect as Flash. So don't get worried about you have CS6, 5, 4, and 3. As long as you have this stage, properties, and the timeline, you should be perfectly alright using any Flash version. Okay. Now this timeline, as you can see, let me just expand the timeline so you can see it bigger. You can obviously hold on to this timeline panel when you move your arrow on it, and you can drag it upwards or downwards, it's up to you. With the stage also, you can use this stage percentage view, and you can make it 25%, show all, or fit in window, so the whole document fits between the windows. Or you can use Windows traditional shortcuts, Control plus and Control minus. So if I use Control plus, it zooms your stage, Control minus, zoom out. Same like Photoshop. Okay. In the timeline is split into two parts. The left-hand part, it will show you all the layers you are working in. Now what layer does, we all know based on the Photoshop layers. It helps us organize multiple objects onto the same stage. So when we done mock-ups, you have seen you have one page in Photoshop document, but layers will help you to add too many things: graphics, images, text, shapes, all onto the same document, but using multiple layers. Same concept in Flash. It allows you to add multiple objects here onto your stage. You can even animate them separately as long as these objects or graphics are on the separate layer. Okay? To use this layers panel, As you can see, by default, Flash will give you one layer, which is named as layer 1. But at the bottom of the layers panel, there are three short icons. One is for the new, the other is for creating a set, and the other small one is for deleting the layer. Okay? Same like Photoshop. One is to create the group folder, one is to create a blank layer, another is to delete the selected layer. In practice, if I want to show you, this is how it works. If I just click on the new layer icon, it adds the new layer. If I click on create a new folder, it adds a group folder. And if you're working on the different projects, you can group the similar layers within the one particular group. Means I can just double click on the folder name, adds, let's say, logo. And under the logo, I can just drag and drop these layers by holding on them like this. Do you see the shift slightly towards the right? That's the indication that this layer 1, 2, and 3 are part of this group set. So if I hide the group by clicking on the arrow on the group, it will hide all my layers which are inside that particular group. It's very useful when you normally do the project because you will have too many layers animated. So just separate them in individual sets. More or less Photoshop concept. On the right hand side of the layers panel, you will have this timeline feature. Okay. If I want to delete, I can highlight the sections, I can delete the sets, and you can see right now it has just one layer, and on the right hand side, these are the numbers which are actually the rulers. It will just tell you what that frame number is. Okay. But under these rulers, do you see these empty slots here? Some of them are plain white, and after every 4, the next slot is slightly gray. Right? It's actually the color coding. But if you look at it, it's just a slot. I'll add a frame. Okay. Now this is similar in Photoshop. When you've done the GIF animation, it was having the frames panel at the bottom. Do you remember? Recall it from Photoshop. So it's similar to how the Photoshop frame panels work. But this is called the timeline, and the timeline is split into the half into the layers and half into the frames. Okay. The red line which you see here is called the playhead. Okay. Normally, like a recorder, you see the red line will start moving from 1 and it will end to the last frame of your animation. So basically when you play your animations, this playhead will start moving forward from this direction towards right. And in each frame, as many drawings you have created, those drawings will reflect on the stage. When I practically calculate animations, you'll understand it more. But right now, just understand the playhead actually shows the contents of that frame in your timeline. Okay. If you want to see the practical version of it, so that it fits quite easily, let me just create a very simple basic animation. So let's see if I have a oval tool, create a simple object, and if I'll animate the object, you see what happened? I've got the ball moving from left to the right. But that animation has been created using that many number of frames, 1 to 20. Okay? The red playhead, that actually starts moving till the end, and whichever position that playhead reaches, that position of the object, it will show you on the stage. Okay? And just like old film recorders or audio recorders, they read the contents on your tape. Same concept. So this is how we're gonna start using animations later on. But for the time being, just understand the names of different panels and the objects within your screen. The other thing you can see on the screen is at the top, you see the untitled one, which is the name of your file. And as many files you open, Flash will open the new document in the next tab, just next to each other. Same like tab navigation of Photoshop. You'll find a lot of similarities of Photoshop here because it is from the Adobe family. So in terms of the panels, layers, it will work more or less like Photoshop itself. Before I finish recording, this is the last option I want to show you, which is in the top right corner of your screen. Now that's about the workspace. Okay? ACA exams, they like to ask these kind of things. Right now, Essentials is the name of the default workspace layout. Okay? If I just go there, there are a lot of workspace you can change. So if you want to work as an animator, select animator layout, and Flash workspace will totally change to show you how an animator would prefer to work. Okay? If you are a programmer, you will normally use as a debug. So a debugger will use normally a programming and coding concepts to do the animations. If you use the classic is the one older version, which is CS3. In CS3, this is how Flash used to look. But the key components are the core: properties, tools, timeline, and the stage. As long as you have these 3-4, don't get worried too much. While I teach in the class, I'm going to keep it default Essentials layout, which is for a Flash. But in case if you want to change, you can drag your tools, you can keep them onto the right, you can drag properties, and you can keep it at the bottom somewhere. It's up to you. Okay? You can customize it as per your personal choice. And then you can go back to the workspace options, and you can create a new workspace. Give your workspace a name, my workspace, say OK, and Flash will remember your own settings or your workspace layout by its own name. Okay? If you don't like, always go back, go to Essentials. If your layout messed up too much, just reset it, so you will see exactly what my screen will look like. Okay? Let me show you the last thing. As I said earlier, when you see the blank stage, it shows you the size of the stage, 550 by 400 pixels. If I click on edit, this is the edit document properties. Now here, Flash measures everything in terms of pixels because it is a vector software. Flash will not have a choice of measuring your stage in millimeters or so on. Because it is a vector animation software, everything is used in terms of screen resolutions, as in terms of pixel resolutions. Okay? Flash don't have PPI or DPI as well because it's a vector graphics. I will later on explain the exact difference in vectors and rasters. But this is where we actually come and we change whatever screen dimensions we want. That's the width, that's the height, and stage color if I want. Either I can change it from this window, or even if I say OK, I can go back to the stage in the properties and select any color I like. You can always go back to your screens. You can change your dimensions very, very easy, and Flash will be easily accommodating your screen. That's how Flash interface works. Very easy to change dimensions, background colors. It's quite tedious in Photoshop, all these things. In Flash, they're slightly more simpler, the way a workspace looks. The toolbar, which is right on now on the right hand side, you can see it's not complicated toolbar. It has very minimalistic tools. We got selection tools. We got free transform, text, line, shapes, pencil. There's a hand and magnifying glass, which is similar to Photoshop. There's a pencil color for strokes and a bucket color for solid colors. How to use it, we're gonna see that later on. So yes, I mean, if you'll ask me, throughout your course, you're not gonna use more than selection tool, text tool, shape tool. I mean, that is it. Even if you use these three tools, you can do wonders in Flash. You don't need to use any other tool. Selection, shape, and text. Just three tools. You can create possibly the whole project. Even the big projects I've done, I don't use more than these three tools. But in Photoshop, we normally use more than 30, 40 tools. That's how easy it is. It is less complicated. Uh, but yes, we'll see how it progresses with you. Okay, let me stop the demonstrations and we can get the questions if you may have.